Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 My Team Career Mode with me, Dan, and of course the Radiant Racing team. It's just 3 races to go now, including this one of the Season 2 season of the My Team Career. We're in Mexico City once again for the Mexican Grand Prix, can you believe it? Shortly to be followed by the Brazilian Grand Prix and the season finale in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. You may be wondering, you said about daily uploads all of this week, Dan, where is the other, where is the video which was supposed to come out on Tuesday? Well, to be honest, I felt like I got hit by a truck yesterday, so I didn't get it done, so it's going to come out today. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell if you want to see when the next of the races come out. We'll upload again this week and get another one out to you. But anyway, onto the starting grid, and it's ourselves on pole position alongside Max Verstappen, followed by our championship rival Valtteri Bottas. He's alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Moving back, we have Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull, followed by Charles Leclerc in the first Ferrari. Then we have Lewis Hamilton, who is a bit further down the order due to a penalty. He's alongside Pierre Gasly. Zhou Guanyu lines up P9 alongside Yuki Tsunoda in P10. Carlos Sainz lines up P11 and Lando Norris in P12. Still no Fernando Alonso. Then we have George Russell somehow getting into P13 alongside Esteban Ocon, followed by Lance Stroll, and incredibly Nicholas Latifi. Further back we have the two Alfa Romeos of Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, followed by Christian Lundgaard, and there he is, Fernando Alonso with a penalty. And on the back row we have Nikita Mazepin and Sebastian Vettel with a penalty. Well, the end of the season is on the horizon. When will this come out? Wednesday? Well, it should have been out tomorrow. Maybe it still will be, who knows. Anyway, lights out, away we go. That's probably copyrighted somewhere, but Max Verstappen challenging us into turn 1. Our championship rival Valtteri Bottas attempting to enact revenge on the gap that we've managed to pull ahead of him. He's going 3 wide into turn 1 there. And, Bottas actually gets cut up there, and somehow we managed to anger the Mexican crowd by getting ahead of Sergio Perez. Daniel Ricciardo also getting ahead of Bottas. That is crucial, as, he goes free abreast into turn 4, maybe? I'm not sure. He's managed to retake P3 there as we continue to pursue Max Verstappen very unsuccessfully, coming down into the twisty sector 3. Let's go on board with the start. Pole position for the first time in a while, and now that we've actually gotten used to the SF1000 wheel. The pedals are a little bit sensitive still, because there was a new set of those that came with it in the post when I bought them. You see going down to turn 1, Verstappen quite clearly ahead. We get sandwiched between the Mercedes and the Red Bull, somehow not crashing into either of them, but we do of course cut up Valtteri Bottas just to make sure that he doesn't try and challenge us into turn 3 and 4. This was his onboard. Not quite anywhere near the speed of Max Verstappen there. It's Valtteri Bottas, but there we go, sliding up the inside there and completely closed the door on him, leading to him being in a battle side by side with Ricciardo. This was on board with his teammate Hamilton, watching an incident down into turn 4. We see Sergio Perez locking up, then coming across and smashing the front wing off the 8-time world champion, who's then overtaken by what looks to be Yuki Tsunoda, somehow ahead of his teammate. And finally, let's go on board with our teammate Zhou Guanyu. This was after the start. He's currently going past Charles Leclerc right now, down into turn 1. Or is he? And then Lando Norris going on up the inside of him as well. Slides into the Ferrari, bops the McLaren. Now they're still side by side, all 3 of them. He's hit the McLaren there and snapped an end plate off of his front wing. That will cost him a little bit later on in the race, as we rejoin us on lap 3 now with Valtteri Bottas hotly in pursuit. He doesn't have DRS yet, but he does have a very strong slipstream by the looks of things. And he's somewhere. I don't know where. He's somewhere. He's still behind us. Okay. Oh, no, he's alongside. We've touched wheels there as we go into turn 1. Valtteri Bottas trying to put a nose up the inside. Looking down the order, we've got an interesting selection of cars in the top 10 at the moment. Fernando Alonso from 20th. I was going to say he's up into 8th, but it's kind of hit or miss at the moment. But he has managed to make up 10 positions at least, somehow. And we've got Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Zhou Guanyu, and possibly someone else all the way down at the back. This was the replay. Bottas and us clashing wheels there. Probably no damage to Bottas. But we're fighting hard because with 3 races to go, we don't want to be losing out. This was Charles Leclerc. Now alongside his teammate. What's going to happen here? He's crashed into his teammate. Well, incredible stuff from the Ferrari duo there. Charles Leclerc is incredibly stupid on that occasion. That was his fault. So now he joins the cars at the back of the grid as we look behind us at Valtteri Bottas and somehow Pierre Gasly, who has been a thorn in our side for the entire season, only 5 seconds down the road. He is ahead of his teammate now. And, well, now we've got both Alpines in the top 10 and an Aston Martin. George Russell in a Williams, P11, then a Haas and another Williams, as Valtteri Bottas just goes around the outside of us there into turn 1 as I was completely distracted by what the hell is going on with the leaderboard. He's going to pull away from us now because he's got the DRS, but we are going to stick with him in the slipstream. Bit of back and forward going on here. We're only on lap 4, and we're already starting to get the leapfrogging effect. Max Verstappen is too far up the road for us to do anything about him now, so it's just going to be a one-on-one battle with Valtteri Bottas until the end of the Grand Prix. Maybe some of those cars that pitted right at the start of the race, or not long after the start of the race, are going to start powering through on their medium tyres and cause an issue for us later on. Sergio Perez leading that pack of 5 cars, currently 10 seconds behind Mick Schumacher, who somehow is behind Nikita Mazepin, probably taking damage from him. Anyway, onto the starting grid again, or at least passing over it. We're going to have the DRS this time on Valtteri Bottas. We have remembered to press the button, and I'm pretty sure the ERS is actually mapped to the right button as well this time as we go around the outside into turn 1. Valtteri Bottas, though, gets the jump on us, but he has run deep, and we go around the outside of him into turn 2. Then through into turn 3, we have the inside line, and we'll get the DRS on the second DRS straight. He is going to get the slipstream, but we are incredibly fast in a straight line. We have managed to pull away slightly there from the Mercedes, and it looks as though it's going to be a long 18 laps of leapfrogging back and forward into second place between us and Bottas. The winner of this contest will, of course, gain a 3-point advantage over their rival, unless one of them is able to pick up the fastest lap, in which case we might be able to mitigate that somewhat. Anyway, here he comes. He's going down the inside of us now from the third DRS zone on the circuit. We push him to the inside, and now we're going to go side by side into the stadium section. He's going to go around the outside of us. Somehow we don't hit the bollard, and that bollard is safe as well. That is disappointing, but Valtteri Bottas now takes the lead. But not for long, because of course we were behind him at the DRS detection point, and in fact we're already into the slipstream and pulling alongside him. There goes the DRS for us as we come down towards turn 1. We're back ahead again, going into turn 1. There's Pierre Gasly in the background. He's actually catching us now because we're squabbling with Bottas. And now we're back ahead again. We're going to get the DRS because the detection point for this zone is all the way back at the end of Sector 3.
Box, box, box.
So here we are on lap 8. Lots of things happening. Christian Lundgaard in a Haas is somehow up into P10 after a few other cars have come into the pit lane. Looks as though Sergio Perez and his little gaggle of cars have managed to catch up to Mick Schumacher now. And we come in, and finally a bollard is absolutely destroyed. We actually wreck another one there as we come into the pit lane as well. Pierre Gasly following in behind us, probably thinking, what the hell am I witnessing? As an F1 driver who is literally competing for a championship is more concerned about smashing up the bollards around Mexico. But if you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you expect no less. Anyway, out onto the pit straight we go. Who have we got going by? That is Yuki Tsunoda going by, and here comes Lance Stroll behind us. I don't believe he is going to cause any issues here because he is a little way back and he is incredibly slow. No, he is not an issue. Max Verstappen, much to his benefit, has actually gotten out 7 seconds ahead of us in a massive gap. 4 seconds behind Esteban Ocon. So as soon as the top 3 come in, including Bottas, who we're trying to get the we're trying to cover from, he's going for the overcut here. And Yuki Tsunoda, actually looking on screen, is not being very helpful right now. Being in the way is stopping us from catching up. Max Verstappen's obviously going to get past him because he's miles ahead and is probably going to win this race unless he has a technical problem. But we get the DRS on Yuki Tsunoda now, which should put us back. Oh, it's a big lock up there actually going into the stadium section. Tsunoda's going to get back ahead of us. That probably, in hindsight, is the better option because we're going to get the DRS going down the pit straight now. As we come around the final corner, Tsunoda's going to come in. Unfortunately, is not going to hit the bollard. And somewhere on our right-hand side is Valtteri Bottas. There he is. He's come out ahead of us. We've got the DRS because of Tsunoda. And it may help us here try and get past the Mercedes into turn 1 or not. It's not going to help us, but we are, of course, going to get it again in just a moment's time as we go around turn 3. Bottas is not going to get it. Okay, so that's good. So he had no one in front of him. But we haven't been able to get past just yet. We have just locked up again and probably started destroying the front tyres, which is not going to be helping our case. We'll have to see what we can do. Sergio Perez, by the way, the home favourite, managed to get back up into the top 10 now as we rejoin on lap 12, 2/3 of the way through the race. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen here. As we see a big power slide there. We can see a bollard getting absolutely destroyed again. It's lodged under our rear right wheel. That is going to be a slight issue for the aerodynamics. It has managed to dislodge itself. Thank God, after literally having its brains grinded out of it by the Pirelli tyre there. Pirelli, of course, distancing themselves from the massacre of bollards since Radiant Sloths joined the grid, and even back to the alternate universe with the co-op career when Radiant Sloths and Justin Freshpot raced for Williams, amongst other teams, and killed multiple bollards, as well as polluting the air of multiple countries across the world. Don't forget to subscribe and go back and watch some of those. They are a classic bunch of playlists and races and videos from a time gone by long ago. Anyway, our teammate Joe Guan Yu, who has had a bit of a rough time in the past few races, actually up into P11 right now. Hopefully, and you'd hope so, he's able to gain on Lance Stroll, who is incredibly slow, with quite a few laps remaining, as Bottas closes right up to the back of us in the stadium section. So now we're going to be on our guard here. Actually, I've just looked down. I've seen Lando Norris has taken P4 away from Gasly. That's good to see because Gasly's been a pain in the neck. And here we go down the pit straight. We're going to be going defensive already. There's still 5 laps to go. There's a massive chunk out of the front wing as well, which will probably be upsetting the sponsor there. As Bottas goes down the inside now into turn 1, we're going to take the inside into turn 2. We're still alongside him, but he's going to get the DRS as we come out of turn 3. We have managed to compromise him quite significantly there and start to accelerate away. Good job by us defending. Only got to do that another 5 more times. Here comes Bottas on his replay up the inside. He goes. And killed a lot of his speed there. Tried to cut us up like we did to him earlier. And then just a tad of oversteer to try and avoid collision. As we watch the perspective. We must just carried a bit more speed around the outside. And up the inside. And then Bottas, for whatever reason, just decided to slam on the brakes there. When he gets the oversteer. Rather than just dealing with it. Has cost him that position, but he doesn't have to wait for long because he's going to get another chance to take it back now. And we can afford to battle quite intensely because Esteban Ocon is about 12 seconds behind us in losing ground pretty rapidly. Bottas now passes again. I just heard Max Verstappen's car go whizzing through off camera. At least I think it was him. There's nothing there. So it could have just been an audio glitch as we go on board with the most useless camera angle that I have personally ever seen in my life. As we chase down Valtteri Bottas. I've just seen that a few more cars have pitted, which means the ones that came in on lap 1 or lap 2 or 3 have completely destroyed their tyres and not made it to the end, our teammate included. And actually, so is Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon. So now Sergio Perez is up into P4. Unbelievably, pretty much where he started the race. As we're now going to chase down with 2 laps remaining. Valtteri Bottas, we go around the outside into turn 1. Now, this is quite dangerous because if we get to the end of this lap with Bottas behind us, he's going to have a massive advantage going into the final lap as we run quite wide there, just about keep it on the white line. Take the position back. So we're now into P2. We're somehow 15 seconds behind Max Verstappen. And in turn, Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez are 20 seconds behind us. That's just to give you a sense of how fast Max Verstappen is at the moment. Completely inexplicitly. He's just completely come alive in the past few races and is starting to dominate quite worryingly. But I don't think we've got to worry too much about our championship battle. As we come down towards the stadium section, this is where we're going to be looking to get the best exit that we can out of the final corner, because if we don't, then we're royally screwed, with Valtteri Bottas just being right there behind us. Round the final corner we go. We've got a nice gap there, a cushion of 6/10. Is it going to be enough though? Probably not. We're not even going defensive right now. There goes Bottas with the DRS. We have started going defensive. We're going to cover to the inside. He's going to go to the outside. We saw an excellent battle here in the co-op career once with Nick and Carlos Sainz battling for the win in the wet. Somehow he was able to do it. But we've managed to defend it into turns 1, 2 and 3. Now we go defensive up to turn 4 and 5. Bottas with the DRS is going to go around the outside. We've got a massive lock up there, which has spooked Bottas slightly. He's going to go up the inside, but we are going to hook it around the outside of him, going into the second part of the corner. And we have managed to seal the deal ahead of him. But it's not over yet, of course, because we've got one more DRS zone at the end of this twisty section. We've got to try and make the most of all of our skills against the AI here to try and push ourselves with 4 tenths ahead. It might just be enough. He's not been able to close up close enough with the DRS as we come into the stadium section for the final time, and it looks as though we have quite comfortably been able to do this. I don't know what's going on with the timing boards as well, because somehow Max Verstappen has won this race by an absolute landslide. But as we cross the line, Valtteri Bottas P3, that is really going to help us in our championship battle. As we're about to find out who got driver of the day. Unsurprisingly, it is Fernando Alonso, who started from right at the back of the grid and somehow managed to crawl his way up into the high positions. I really should have gone back and had a look at what the hell happened to get him all the way up there. Of course, it did help that a few people came into the pits, and well, it certainly helped him in the end. Anyway, Max Verstappen, we're used to seeing Red Bull drivers win the championship here. Unfortunately, the battle still rages on. Well, I guess that's a good thing for us because we're in this battle. But the battle rages on. No winner crowned today. Mexico not going to host another champion. Brazil, of course, might do. We've seen Brazilian, champions crowned in Brazil before on the channel. It could be next time. We'll have to just see. We're hoping for some technical issues from Valtteri Bottas, but let's get on with the final results for Mexico. And here are these final results. As you can see, our top 3 already. They were followed by Fernando Alonso, rather impressively. Then Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly, and finally Charles Leclerc rounding up the top 10, with Nicholas Latifi picking up P11 in the Williams. Which means over in the Drivers' Championship, we now just sit 2 points ahead of Valtteri Bottas as we retake the lead. We're followed by Lewis Hamilton, the 8-time world champion, just over 1 win and a fastest lap behind us. Then we have Max Verstappen climbing his way above his teammate Sergio Perez, followed by Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Further down the order, those good results for Alonso and Vettel promote them up to 11th and 12th respectively, followed by Esteban Ocon, Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda on 16 points apiece, then Lance Stroll as the final point scorer. They're followed by George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Christian Lundgaard, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nikita Mazepin. And finally, it's over to the constructors. It's 36 points separating Mercedes now from challengers Red Bull, but a massive leap back to the battle for third between McLaren in third place and Radiant Racing in fourth. Then it's Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Alpine and Aston Martin, followed by Williams, Alfa Romeo and Haas. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one for the penultimate race before the end.